Hello and welcome back. In this video I'm going to cover all the things that you need to put in the aircraft. So in this first segment, these are things I've recently purchased for the airplane. The first is a OS engine. This is the OS46AX2. Got it from Tower Hobby for about $150. Also bought the glow plug for it. It's the number 6 A3 hot, and there is a glow plug that comes with the airplane, but I always like to have a spare. And that glow plug was about $6. I also have a exhaust deflector. It's from Hobbyco. It's basically a silicone tube that attaches to the end of the muffler and keeps the exhaust, which includes a lot of oil, away from the airplane. It's about $3. I bought for the fuel tank, a OS bubbleless clunk. As you can see, it's got a bunch of holes in it, and if there's any bubbles or air in the fuel in the tank, then for vibrations or whatever, then this bubbleless clunk will prevent those bubbles from getting into the fuel line. That's a $16 item. From Dubro, I have fuel line clips. Okay, there's I think 4 in this package. This is the medium size, 3 30-seconds, and the fuel line clips are $1.70. The other thing I've got is a inline fuel filter that will go between the tank and the carburetor. It's made by Sullivan, and you can see the 2 screens in there that help to screen, last chance to screen the stuff out before it hits the carburetor. That is a $4.30 item. And next is the fuel tubing. I got 3 kinds. I've got the Dubro blue colored medium fuel tubing. That's the 3 30-second. And then the Dubro orange colored, and the Dubro green. And all of that was bought from Tower Hobbies recently. So that's the first part. The next is the Spectrum radio and the receivers and all. I'm using I don't know if you can see it or not, the DX9 from Spectrum. You buy it at Horizon Hobby, and this was a nice Christmas present for me. I actually got it before Christmas because my wife knew I wanted it, and so I'll give you, there's a whole video on how to use that. Horizon makes both a DX6 and a DX9. This is 9-channel, it's about $600. The DX6 is I think around, I believe it's around $200, but I'll have to check that. But for the DX9 is what I'm going to use for this airplane. So with that, I need a receiver. This is the Spectrum 6-channel AR6210, and it has the satellite antenna here. That's the receiver, that's the satellite antenna. And I like to have a satellite antenna in these size airplanes because it gives you a way to better assure that you're going to receive the signal from the transmitter. Including in that, I'm going to use the Spectrum telemetry module. Okay, and basically the telemetry module is going to tell me the battery voltage, when I'll talk about the battery in a minute, and if I want, I have it on a couple of my other airplanes. It'll tell me the cylinder head temperature. So I'll explain that in a subsequent video about all the electronics. In addition, you're going to need 2 servo extensions, and I'm going to use the Spectrum 12-inch heavy-duty servo extensions. So I got 2 of those, and then I've got the telemetry flight pack module for the for reading the battery voltage, and basically it's sits between one of the servo wires and reads the battery voltage going directly to the servos. So all the Spectrum stuff comes from Tower Hobbies. The telemetry module was about this was the telemetry module here. This was about $57. The receiver was about $70. The heavy-duty servos are $7.99 each, and the telemetry pack is $16.99. Oh, one thing I forgot further back, I forgot to mention, because we're having a 3-line tank, and that's why I had the 3 colors of the tubing. I also have the Dubro fillet fueling system. Basically, Tower Hobbies again for about $6, and it allows you to have the fuel line mounted to the exterior, so it's easy to fuel the airplane without having to remove a piece of tubing off the carburetor. I think that works a lot better. Okay, so let's see, next we've got the servos. These are high-tech digital servos. They are the HS5625 with metal gears. That's a pretty high quality servo. It's $39.99, but I got 5 of them. They're standard size. You can get simpler analog servos for probably about $10, so I'm spending quite a bit extra on the servos, but that's the way I like it. So with each servo, so I got 5 of these servos. With each servo, I've got 5 of these Great Plains pushrod connectors. They're called a screw lock pushrod connectors, and inside the little package is 2 pushrod connectors, one for each end of the pushrod that goes to the servo and to the control horn, and that allows you to better adjust and fine-tune, if necessary, the centering of the servo and the centering of the control surface when if you used a Z-bend, that fixes it in, you can't change it. So I prefer that. Those pushrod connectors were $2.37 each. I've got 4 props here, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to end up with, but I'm going to probably try them all 4. I've never used a wooden prop before. This is a Top Flight 11.6 prop, and I have the matching APC size 11.6, and you can see by the difference the profiles are different. Obviously they're the same length, but the width of the 2 are different, and it'd be interesting to see a comparison, which I've never done before, between a wooden and a APC plastic prop. The wooden props, the Top Flight 11.6 is a bit more expensive. That's $2.99 as compared to the APC plastic prop is only $2.19, and then the Top Flight 10.6 prop is let's see, $2.49, and the 10.6 APC is the same price as the 11.6 APC. Obviously plastic is cheaper, and so it's $2.19 as well. Next, you're going to want to wrap your electronics, your receiver, and your telemetry module in foam. So I use the Dubro either 1/4 inch or the 1/2 inch foam, and the 1/4 inch foam is $4.19 for that sheet, and the 1/2 inch is $5.49. So not sure, depends upon how and where the electronics will fit. You always want to wrap your electronics with foam to prevent the vibrations from getting to them, and so it just depends on, you know, how much room I've got. I'll probably end up using the 1/2 inch foam because it'll protect a little better. Okay, and then I also will need to adhere the wrapped electronics somewhere in the airplane, and for that I normally use Velcro. This is a 3/4 inch size Velcro tabs. I got at Ace Hardware, and that was $3.99. As far as the spinner goes, I don't like the plastic spinners because they eventually scar up when you're using an electric starter. So I prefer an aluminum spinner, and I like the Dave Brown products here. It's a Dave Brown Vortec spinner. This is 2 inch, and that does not come with the nut for the motor, and but it's easy to get them. You order for the OS engine this 1/4 inch 28 threads prop nut and washer. So that will allow me to mount the aluminum spinner to the prop and motor. In addition, you have to have a way of an on-off switch. So this is a switch and charging jack from Great Plains, and it's the kind of switch, I don't know if you've seen it or not before, but it's the kind of switch you pull out rather than push back and forth. I've not used this one before, but I've seen it on lots of aircraft from other guys, and it seems to work fine. But you do have a port in the top here to charge if you want. I'll probably not use that, which is, I'll explain something in a minute, because the type of battery I use. Okay, you do need a battery, and for this setup I recommend a 5-cell nickel metal hydride rechargeable battery. This is 2,000 milliamp hours. So it's 6 volts and 2,000 milliamps, and this is a Hobbyco product. You get it from Tower Hobbies. By the way, most everything that you see here except for the Spectrum stuff is from Tower Hobbies. I guess all of it. And so with that, battery is $24.99, and but I've for my other airplanes I've been using a cheaper alternative. First off, I make a 5-cell battery holder by going to Radio Shack and buying a 4-cell and a 1-cell, and epoxy them together and solder them in. And then I use these PowerX batteries. I get them at Amazon, and these batteries are $3.25 each individually, and so the pack of 5 of these is $16.25. But it's not the cost necessarily that I'm looking to save. What I like about it is when you go to recharge them, first off, you can have a set of an extra set of these at the field, and if you need to swap out a battery, you just pull this out and put the new ones in. But the most important thing is PowerXL is a very nice charging unit, which I'll show you in a little bit. But you charge each individual cell, which is better than charging the pack, because this pack is sealed and you can charge, you know, all or none. And if you get a weak battery in a pack like this, the whole pack is dead. Which has happened to me. So I use these individual ones, and then you charge them individually, and then you can also cycle them to see that they're still in good shape. Because nickel metal hydride batteries probably only last 2 to 3 years before they start weakening. When I get weak batteries, I use them in a flashlight or something, but I won't use them in an airplane. I'll explain a lot more detail about the batteries in a subsequent video. Hi, and the next group of things that need to go in the aircraft or on the aircraft that you need to make sure you have is I have 2 of the Spectrum heavy duty servo extensions that are 6 inches long. Previously I mentioned you need the 12-inch. The 12-inch go in the wing so that the servo wire can reach all the way into the cabin of the airplane. The 6-inch will attach to that on one end, and on the other end will be in the aileron channel and the aux1 channel, so that those are the 2 channels on the receiver that you need to connect the wings to. And since the wings come off, you need to have a way to quickly disconnect those, and so you use the 6-inch that are attached to the receiver, and then the 12-inch are in the wing, and then the 2 go together when you assemble the wing. So you need 2 of those, and they're from Horizon Hobby, and they're $5.99 each. In addition, you need to have a Spectrum switch. It's basically a switch on this here and 3 wires in it, and the switch holder I showed you earlier is just the holder. This is what it's going to hold, and the switch will turn the airplane on and off and allow you to check the voltage of the battery before you even start. So you need one of these. It's again a Spectrum 3-wire switch harness, and they're $14. In addition, I recommend having as extra spares a metal clevis. I'm going to use a Sullivan golden clevis, pack of 12. Tower Hobby sells these for $7 for the pack of 12. I know we have one nylon clevis that I don't want to use, so I'm going to use this instead. And also recommend having a few spare rods. These are 2-56 size rods to go with the 2-56 size clevises. So those are just some of the extra things that you're going to need. So that's all of the things that go in the airplane. In the subsequent videos, I'm going to show you all the things that you need to take to the field, and then as well to finish the completion guide, I'm going to tell you all the things you need to the tools and so forth that you're going to use to build the airplane and so forth. So stay tuned for those. Thank you.